Mass. We do so knowing that we are in that very special time of the year called Advent. Sometimes we think that Advent is to prepare us for Christmas. And that is partly true. But the other part is, it is to remind us that we need to be prepared when Jesus comes to us, as he does each day, inviting us, come, follow me. We just don't get that invitation on the day of our baptism, when we become daughters of God, when we become sons of God. But every day, Jesus calls us, among the many, many situations that we find ourselves in, to do so following him. How would Jesus do it? What would he do when he sees an elderly person having difficulty crossing the street? When he sees or hears about someone who is alone and very lonely? What would he do with a child who is having difficulty with his lessons or her lessons? Do we really believe that Jesus would continue walking away? Or would Jesus stop and become involved? And so, the church certainly knows about Christmas. And in a couple of weeks, we will celebrate the event of Christmas, and we will celebrate with full hearts. But at the beginning of Advent, the church is really asking us to follow what Jesus is asking us every day to do. In the Gospel today, for example, one of the two very important people that we hear about during Advent is in that Gospel reading. One of the people, of course, during Advent is Mary. Mary, the mother of Jesus, is certainly very, very prominent in the readings. But there's another person that we heard about in the readings today, and that is John the Baptist. John the Baptist, we're told in St. Luke's Gospel, was a relative of Jesus. He was a little bit older than Jesus, and he had a special thing that God asked of him. Prepare the way of the Lord. A voice in the wilderness crying out, make straight the path to God. John did it. John dedicated his life helping people getting ready to receive Jesus. He preached about changing our lives. He talked about moving away from sin and embrace goodness. And how do we know that John did his job so well? Because when Jesus came and he said, pointing to Jesus, this is the one. This is the one I told you about. It's not about me. It's about him. And John's disciples left him, and they followed Jesus. He did his job extremely well, helping people get ready for the Lord, and when he came, they were ready to follow him. His life was a success in the eyes of God. You and I are asked to do many things. One of the things that we're asked to do is to be the present day John the Baptist. John he's dead. John is a saint in God's presence. But the work that John the Baptist was asked to do still needs to be finished. It's not over. God is asking you and I to help prepare people to receive the Lord. Over the years as a priest, I have been very, very blessed with many wonderful opportunities and so many wonderful people who came into my life and I came into their lives. And one of the things that really struck me was the number of people who wanted to become part of the church because they wanted to follow Jesus. And as I would talk to all those people, every one of them would give the credit to their wife or their husband or to a neighbor or to someone they worked with. Every one of them was influenced by people who were like John the Baptist. Think about it. You can read books all day, and they're important. I'm not against books. Believe me. I'm not against them. But when it comes to following God, there's nothing more powerful than the life of a believer. It's the life of the believer that speaks volumes. When someone sees how someone lives, sharing, caring, forgiving, loving, believing, that is what people see in that person. They see the face of God. They see the presence of God, and they want more. Every one of us, think how many people you meet or talk with, live with, every day of your life. The opportunities are there all around us. As Jesus says to us at our baptism, and then every day, come follow me. And he's asking us who are here today, one of the ways we follow him is by being another Christ to other people. What a beautiful message the church has today, reminding us of John the Baptist, what he did. And he did so well. He was a person just like all of us. And in fact, if we're really honest about it, we have a lot more than he had. We knew in our lives that Jesus is the Son of God. We received baptism. We received the body and blood of Jesus Christ. God has given so much. Isn't that what we sang in the responsorial psalm today? Let us see the goodness, the kindness of God. It's all around us. God has given us so much. And what He's given us is not only for us, it is for us, but it's also meant to be shared so that other people will, like the people back in John the Baptist's time, follow Christ. Look at, there He is, over there. It's not about me, it's about Him. Sometimes, you know, we can even get in the way. Sometimes we can even get in the way because maybe people don't see God in us. Oh boy, that was a missed opportunity, wasn't it? It really was. But when we're kind and thoughtful, remember that beautiful section from St. Paul's letter to Corinthians where he talks about love. And what did he say? Love is kind. It's patient. It's understanding. It's forgiving. That is what touches people's lives. That's what each one of us is capable of doing because God has loved us and now asks us to love as He loved. Every one of us has this wonderful opportunity. So in these days of Advent, and I'm sure that you're no different than I am. I'm still trying to write Christmas cards. I've got to wrap some presents. I don't bake, so don't look for anything. I don't bake at all. In fact, one day someone asked me, you know, Bishop, what do you cook? I said, if it doesn't fit into a toaster, I haven't done it. Because honestly, I've never cooked a meal in my life. But in these days, all of us have so much to do, but let's never forget that God has asked us to do something special. And remember all those people who wanted to become Catholic. And every one of them said it was because of a person in their life. Each one of us can be that person for someone else. May Advent be a very special time as God wishes it to be.